Right now, a massive low-pressure system is barreling towards Britain, and what happens between Thursday and Friday this week could catch millions of people completely off guard. We are talking about temperatures plummeting by up to 8 degrees Celsius in just 48 hours. We are talking about the first proper Arctic blast of 2026. And yes, we are talking about snow, potentially even at low levels across parts of England. But here is the thing most forecasters are not telling you yet. There is a second wave coming right behind it, and that one could be even more disruptive. Stay with me, because at around the 3-minute mark, I am going to break down exactly which cities face the highest risk of significant snowfall, and at what time it is most likely to hit your area. Before we get into the cold, though, let me tell you what is happening right now, because Monday, the 9th of February, is bringing its own set of problems. If you are anywhere in southwest England or South Wales this morning, you already know. Rain, more rain, and the ground simply cannot take any more of it. The Met Office has issued a rain warning covering much of southwest England and South Wales from midday today all the way through to midnight. Now, the totals do not sound extreme on paper, 10 to 15 millimetres widely, with up to 30 millimetres in the worst affected spots. But here is why that matters so much. The ground across southern and western Britain is completely saturated. Every single drop of rain that falls today has nowhere to go. It sits on the surface. It runs into rivers that are already swollen. And that means localised flooding is a very real possibility tonight, particularly across Somerset, Devon, Dorset, and the valleys of South Wales. London and the southeast, you actually get a slightly better deal today. A cloudy and grey start, yes, but the Midlands and parts of eastern England should see some brightness breaking through by this afternoon. If you are lucky enough to catch some sunshine, temperatures will feel surprisingly mild for February, around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. That is 2 to 3 degrees above the seasonal average. Enjoy it, seriously, because what is coming later this week will make today feel like spring. Up in Scotland, it is a completely different story. The far northeast, Orkney and Shetland in particular, is getting battered by persistent rain and strong winds again this morning. Temperatures up there are struggling to 6 or 7 degrees, and with that wind chill, it feels noticeably colder. Edinburgh and Glasgow will hover around 8 to 9 degrees under thick cloud. Aberdeen faces the worst of the easterly rain bands pushing in off the North Sea. Now, here is where tonight gets tricky, and if you are driving anywhere across southern England this evening, please pay attention. That band of rain currently sitting over the southwest is going to push eastwards through the evening and overnight hours. We are looking at heavy, persistent rain sweeping across Wiltshire, Hampshire, Berkshire, Surrey, and into Greater London between roughly 8 o'clock tonight and 2 o'clock Tuesday morning. Spray on motorways, standing water on smaller roads, and yes, potential surface flooding in low-lying areas. The M4, M5, and M3 corridors could all be affected. Plan your journey, leave extra time. It is not worth the risk. The good news is that the rain should ease through the early hours of Tuesday. Temperatures overnight stay remarkably mild for February, not dropping below 6 or 7 degrees in most towns and cities. Frost-free for almost everyone, except perhaps the far northwest highlands of Scotland, where a brief clearing could allow temperatures to dip just below zero. Tuesday itself brings more of the same frustrating pattern. Cloud, occasional rain or showers, and a general feeling of, well, when does this end? The most persistent rain on Tuesday will again target eastern England and eastern Scotland. Winds will strengthen further along the North Sea coast, making it feel distinctly colder the further north and east you go. Newcastle, Sunderland, Hull, all feeling the bite of that onshore breeze, despite air temperatures of 8 or 9 degrees. Meanwhile, further south and west, another band of rain pushes through southwest England, Wales, and central southern England during the Tuesday afternoon. Bristol, Cardiff, Southampton, and Oxford, all likely to see a wet commute home. Temperatures in the south could still reach 12 or even 13 degrees Celsius in any brighter spells, which is remarkably above average for the 9th and 10th of February. But do not let that fool you. And this is the part I promised you. This is where everything changes. Wednesday, the 11th of February, the rain keeps coming heavy at times with some really significant downpours pushing through during Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday morning. But look at the Scottish Highlands. For the first time in weeks, precipitation starts falling as snow over the highest ground. The Cairngorms, Ben Nevis, the Grampians, all starting to see a dusting. That is the cold air beginning to dig in from the north. It is not dramatic yet, but it is the opening act. Thursday, the 12th of February, is the transition day. This is when the main low pressure system that has been dominating our weather all week finally starts to clear away to the east. And as it does, the wind direction flips. Instead of mild southwesterlies bringing air up from the Atlantic and the Azores, we get northerlies, direct from the Arctic. And that is when the temperature crash begins. By Thursday evening, the Scottish Highlands will already be well below freezing. Snow showers will be spreading to lower levels across Scotland. The Pennines, the North York Moors, the Lake District Fells, all starting to see snow settling above around 300 metres. Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, Newcastle, temperatures dropping sharply through the evening, heading towards 2 or 3 degrees by midnight, Friday the 13th of February. And yes, the date is fitting. This is when the Arctic air mass arrives in full force for everyone. Morning temperatures across northern England and Scotland will be around -1 to -3 degrees Celsius. Even Birmingham, Nottingham and Norwich will wake up to temperatures of just 1 or 2 degrees. London and the southeast, which was sitting at 12 degrees just 48 hours earlier, will struggle to reach 4 or 5 degrees all day. Let me repeat that because it is extraordinary. London goes from 12 degrees on Wednesday to 4 or 5 degrees on Friday, an 8-degree drop in 48 hours. That does not happen often in this country. When it does, it causes real problems. Snow showers will be pushing down the east coast of England on Friday, driven by that northerly wind. Think of it like a conveyor belt of cold air picking up moisture from the North Sea and dumping it as snow. East coast cities are most exposed. Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Scarborough, Hull, Skegness, even down towards Norfolk and Suffolk. If you live within about 30 miles of the North Sea coast, you need to be prepared for the possibility of snow showers on Friday, some of them potentially heavy enough to cause a brief accumulation even at sea level. Further west, cities like Glasgow, Carlisle, Liverpool and Birmingham are more likely to see a cold but largely dry day on Friday with plenty of sunshine between the showers. But do not be deceived by the sunshine. With that Arctic wind, it will feel bitter. Wind chill values could make it feel like -5 to -8 degrees in exposed areas. Now, do not miss what comes next because the weekend forecast is where this gets really interesting and honestly really difficult to pin down. Saturday, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, looks bitterly cold for everyone. Overnight frosts will be widespread and harsh, potentially -4 to -6 degrees in rural areas across central and northern England, and even colder across the Scottish glens. Daytime highs struggling to 3 or 4 degrees in the north, maybe 5 or 6 in the south. Any snow lying on the ground from Friday will stick around and potentially cause icy conditions on untreated roads Saturday morning. But here is the twist. By Sunday the 15th, the models are showing a milder sector trying to push back in from the Atlantic. And this is where it gets properly complicated. When mild, moist Atlantic air collides with a block of Arctic cold air sitting over Britain, the result can be significant and widespread snowfall, even at low levels. The leading edge of that milder system could bring a band of heavy snow before temperatures rise enough to turn it back to rain. Which areas get snow and which get rain depends entirely on the exact timing and positioning of that boundary. And right now, the computer models disagree. Some keep the cold air in place longer, which would mean more snow for more people. Others push the mild air through quickly, limiting the snow to a brief window. The European model is actually the coldest of the major forecasting systems today, suggesting the cold air could return even stronger in the middle of the following week, around the 17th and 18th of February, with a second and potentially more disruptive Arctic plunge. So let me be completely clear about what we know and what we do not know. What we know with high confidence is that temperatures will crash from Thursday into Friday. Northerly winds will bring Arctic air across all of the United Kingdom. Snow will fall over higher ground in Scotland and northern England from Thursday. East Coast areas face the highest risk of snow showers reaching low levels on Friday. Widespread frost returns Friday and Saturday nights after weeks of mild, frost-free conditions. What remains uncertain is exactly how far south significant snow will reach. Whether low-lying areas in the Midlands, East Anglia, or even the home counties could see settling snow, and how the transition back to milder air over the weekend plays out, because that transition itself could bring the heaviest snow of all. Here is what I want you to do right now. Drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from, your town, your city, your county, because as the high-resolution weather models update over the next 48 to 72 hours, I am going to be able to give you much more specific, localized forecasts. If I know where you are, I can tell you exactly what to expect and when to expect it. Now, for immediate practical steps. If you are in Southwest England or South Wales, the priority today and tonight is flood awareness. Check your local river levels, know your flood escape routes, Do not drive through standing water. You have heard it before, but people still do it and people still get into serious trouble. If you are anywhere in the United Kingdom, start thinking now about the cold snap arriving Thursday and Friday. Check your heating system is working properly. If you have elderly neighbors, check on them. Make sure you have de-icer and a scraper in your car. If you have pipes in unheated spaces, consider lagging them now rather than dealing with a burst pipe on Saturday morning. For drivers, keep an eye on the forecasts from Wednesday onwards. The transition from rain to snow can happen incredibly quickly, and road conditions can deteriorate in minutes. Carry a blanket, a charged phone, and some water in your car as basic precautions if you are making longer journeys towards the end of the week. Now, let me give you a quick city-by-city snapshot for the week ahead. London, mild and wet through Wednesday, then a sharp drop to 4 or 5 degrees by Friday, with a slight chance of sleet or wet snow if the cold air pushes far enough south. Birmingham, similar pattern, but a degree or two colder by Friday, and a higher chance of seeing some snowflakes. Manchester, rain turning to sleet and possibly snow over higher ground from Thursday evening. Leeds, real potential for accumulating snow Friday, especially on high ground around the Pennines. Newcastle, one of the most exposed cities, snow showers likely Friday and possibly into Saturday. Edinburgh, snow becoming likely from Thursday night, with accumulations possible even at lower levels. Glasgow, cold and dry with a sharp frost Friday and Saturday, but less exposed to the North Sea snow showers. Cardiff, wet through Wednesday, turning cold but probably staying above the snow line except on the Brecon beacons. Belfast, a cold end to the week with possible sleet, but the worst of the snow should stay to the east. So the pattern for the next 2 weeks is going to be wild. Mild spells fighting Arctic intrusions. Rain battling snow. It is a proper meteorological tug of war, and honestly, it could go either way from day to day. This is the kind of February that keeps forecasters up at night. In my next video, I will have the updated high-resolution models covering the critical Thursday to Sunday period. That is when we will know with much greater precision exactly where the snow line sits, exactly which cities see significant accumulations, and exactly how disruptive this cold snap will be. If the European model verifies and that second cold shot arrives in the middle of the following week, we could be looking at the most significant wintry spell Britain has seen in over a year. You do not want to miss that update. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on, because when the models update, I will be here to break it all down for you. Stay safe out there this week, check back for updates, and remember, drop your location in the comments so I can keep you informed with forecasts tailored